Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Status Order 7. That's Horse House, deep in bluegrass country, as we are trying to dominate American racing. And it's not going great. It's not going poorly. It's not going great either. It's kind of a mix, to be fair. Um, it's been a little bit of a rough season. We've lost a lot of horses along the way. We're down to just 3 now. Consuela Blaze is finishing off as best she can. And it's been an almost season, I think. It's been an almost career as well. Not a great start. Some wins and seconds, win second, win second. Then a little bad patch. Beginning of the win, couple of bad races, couple of wins. Third, first, second, third, fourth win. A bad race then at the Woodward before coming so close again in the Spinster. Yeah, if we can get all those second and thirds into being wins, and we're not far away from doing that, then you're looking at like a 12 to a 15 Group 1 winner that includes the 3 World Cup races. So I don't think you can be too harsh about her career. She doesn't look amazing. She looks good. She doesn't run amazing. She runs good. So yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. So we did buy for 3 million. I think we could have got for 278 somewhere around there. So just under 2.8. We rounded it up. But yeah, we're closing on 7 million prize money, so that is 4 million of profit right there in like a year and a half. I know when you can breed from her. On top of that, expensive purchase, but probably good to have done it. Hurrah, again, pretty decent. We bred with Cold Quest because such a good stallion. And we got some mixed results out of that. We do love Renee. She is dropping off. We might not be breeding from her next season because of it. Again, not a great horse, but good enough. And Hurrah has kind of done some fun stuff along the way. Definitely looks like a good horse. We are over racing. I don't really know what to do about that. I feel conflicted, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of my question mark there. But did win the Kentucky Derby and ran quite well throughout the year. And then Cold Quest again with High Life, who we really like. And yeah, High Life was just this great miler who jumped into like the 1 mile 1 range. And Life Quest has enjoyed their season. They've enjoyed their career, but again, so many second and third places. I think, we'd be like 16, 17 Group 1 wins right now if we'd have won them all, which would have put us in range for that 20 Group 1 wins. We are raring to go. We are good. We're basically just pure speed. We've got a lot of potential and extra speed. That's it. That's all this horse is. And I think that does explain some of the issues we have in some races. So, yeah, I think what I want to do is just run these races right now because we're fully bred. Everything's good for right now. Kind of want to see what happens, especially with Hurrah's next race, because that over racing does worry me. Don't want it to be an issue. A life quest for the 2,000 guineas in New Zealand. We're heading to Riccarton. Botley is here. Okay, didn't really expect them to make the trip, but that's fine. McCool Frost, the home favourite, and the only other graded race horse in this field. Us and Botley, 100%. Yeah, a couple of domestics don't look great. Botley looks very calm. We're looking lean. It should be our race. We should be a mile. We don't love a long trip sometimes. The New Zealand 2,000 guineas, 1 mile race for Class 1, Grade 1 horses, 3-year-olds only upon the turf. And we are on the outside. We get off to a decent enough start on Life Quest. Gonna do Life Quest things. Just settle back and slowly drift into the pack. Olympic Panic up front. Motorfret Bullet, McCool, Frost, Butley, Alayam, and ourselves all there. Slip is there as well. And as we come then to the final 2 furlongs, I don't like the way we went back. Floating Freedom just dropped out of this one. The kick at the final furlong is kind of what we want to see. McCool, Frost, and ourselves sort of head and head here, just pushing through Life Quest, just getting up and taking the race from the best domestic horse. Butley just slips into the middle, didn't get up, but we knew who our main challenger was. We're well aware of McCool McFrost anyway. And Life Quest just gets another Grade 1 win. And yeah, it's not expected, but we're definitely coming good towards the end of the season. I do like it. 126, kind of been at this rating for a while. Doesn't feel like we're making too much progress on that. So, interesting. And then the short trip over to Keeneland. And that's going to bring... I lost my train of thought for some reason. Yeah. Are we favourites? I wouldn't say so. We're in the mix, but looks like a really weird race, this one. Like 5 different horses tipped. We don't really see that often. Yeah, normally if there's like an outstanding favourite, you'll see them take multiple tipsters and like 1 or 2 others might be mentioned. But usually the 5th is left open. If it's kind of that way, you'd have 2, 1, 1, and 1 open. I'd have 5 horses named for 5 different tipsters. A couple of Canadians and an Australian. Kind of strange. I mean, a couple of agitated horses, 1 calm, but again, not horses I'd put right up as favourites versus Capel, maybe. I don't know what's going to happen. I hate that. I hate not having an idea. Yeah, Breeders' Cup Distaff then. A mile 1 on the dirt track here at Keeneland in Bluegrass Country. Class 1, Grade 1 for 3-year-olds and older on dirt. We've definitely got a shot. But up the inside, we get off to a decent start. And we will drop towards the back and be in danger of blocked off as usual. Sound Treat Festival Cream up to the front with Vene Daughter, Montara Virgin versus Capel, Tiny Property and Moonlark Emma all in the mix now. Moving a lot here. Half a mile round this turn. We've gone wide. We're trying to come up and make a case for this one then. We haven't gone yet. We're probably going to try and go over the final furlong, but if we left it too late, we might have done. Versus Capello, as expected. Maybe a little calm. Struggling on the backstretch. Going to give it up to Tiny Property. There goes Molly Valley. Late surge of their own. Can't quite get up to it. We do finish in 7th, but we're so close, really, from taking 4th. The Australian just kind of surprised me that. I figured they'd be a decent horse and they'd run quite well, but I didn't expect them to win this. Yeah. Kind of a bad race for Blaze. Yeah, that does bring us on to our most anticipated horse here. I think because we're maybe over racing, we're going to start seeing performance decreases a little bit. We shouldn't be favorite, and we're not favorite. And anytime Emirati is in a race, you kind of got to be really worried about them, especially a mile 2 to a mile 4. They've just been around enough to be an absolute nightmare. Derby winner, second in the Preakness, second in the Belmont. And like I say, those were kind of really close. So you can consider this a Triple Crown winner almost. So yeah, definitely the favorite, definitely the best horse in the field. How do we compete with that? I don't know. I don't know if we can. A lot of good 3-year-olds wouldn't even go into this race, but it's the Breeders' Cup. It's the classic. I have to be here for it, I feel. 1 mile 2 furlong is on distance. Class 1 grade 1. 3-year-olds and older on the dirt track at Keeneland. And this could potentially be the final race of the season for Hara. Even though I've got some I really like that I could book, or that I have already booked, that we could just race. I don't know. We go towards the back. I don't like that. Emirati is there with us. They're a better closer than we are. We should be ahead of them if we want to make a move at the end of this race. Straw Agenda behind Floppy Over, and Weybridge Waltzer is well in the lead right now. Half a mile from home. We're still not quite up. Eternal Entertainer is with us. But you don't like seeing how far up the field Freelancer is. Hara is just out of this. It looks like Farang Randolph's also going, which I didn't expect. Coast River Days as well. Freelancer Emirati. Not going to get this one. Going to be pipped out to third. Farang Rudolph takes it. 33-1. Quills River Days, the favorite, takes second. And Freelancer Emirati drops down into third. Not a great run from them, but Hurrah in 8th. Just didn't feel like we were ever going to get anywhere there. And yeah, we are over racing. That's going to be detrimental to the horse. Not only now, but probably next season too. We're just not going to be in good shape. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to call it for the season for Hurrah. After all, that's just, I think, what I have to do. Life Quest will get another run. Blaze will get another run. Yeah, Blaze will go into the barn on the 2nd of December. And that will be the end of her racing career. She'll go straight into the breeding program. Life Quest will stay out, because we do have the Bondi. I don't know whether to run that or not. I want to run it. I don't know if there's really much point. instead, I could breed High Life if I went in after this race and ignored the Bondi. That kind of makes sense to me. We'll send Life. So this is Life Quest's last race then of the season. We head over to Singapore. Life Quest runs the Kranji Mile. And then we can send them into the breeding barn. And we'll also be able to send in. After this run, or do I? No, we'll run one more. It's be the end of the year. But yeah, 1 mile, Kranji Mile, Class 1 grade run, 3 rows and older, upon the turf track. And we seem to get out just about okay there here in Singapore upon the turf. Middle of the pack, Semi-Quiver Eagle and Malice French up near the front with Magri, O'Hara and Stravinia calling just outside them. Behind us on the inside, Louise Ballywick, more saucy trader, Ginger's Deauville is currently last. We're getting blocked off and we're not able to find too much of a way through. We go to the inside, there isn't a lane, we get blocked off again. We finally get a little clear path. It's not going to be enough as Louise takes it, and we are screwed in our final race of the season because the jockey ran into the back of 2 horses back to back for no reason. You might be able to tell I'm a little pissed at that. Just a little bit. 1 mile, 1 furlong, Singapore Derby, Class 1 Grade 1, 4-year-olds on the turf here at Kranji Racetrack. In the middle of the pack, we're off to a good run. Yeah, I don't want to think about that last race. Just really annoys me. Looks like Fiorosi Coro up front. Just Romantic in the mix. We got Cool's River Days, as we know, is a very good horse alongside us. Moonlark Emma as well. Rusty Pickwick, Patsy Gay, Pipette Desire, Rossini, Tyre. I do think the two right with us, Moonlark and Days, are great horses. The 3 of us sticking close together. 2 furlongs from home. Is anyone going to come from deep? Is anyone going to shoot through? It doesn't look like it. And oh my God, no challenges from anybody. And Coral just holds on. 66-1, went out to the front. Just about stays alive. Cool's River Days was up there. I was waiting that entire time for us, Emma and Days, to like really kick on and push down that final sort of furlong and a half, maybe 2 furlongs. It never came. It never came. That is such a weird, such a weird race. I think this is going to be Damager just for an extra little bit of distance. I feel that's kind of where we want to be. That felt so weird to me. So I was fully expecting the 3 of us just to go. And we never did. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Blaze hasn't won in her last 4. Yeah, this is going to be the last race of her career, and she'll go into the breeding barn. And I think Tidal Force is a good sire for her. So I don't mind that. But yeah, we cut like 3 races off the end of the season I wasn't expecting to cut. I kind of feel we had to. They were kind of done. They were kind of done. They were all kind of done. Yeah. It is what it is then. Chikyo, Japan. I don't know why I'm surprised to see Frankie Hauer. Kind of am. I don't really want to race against them. I guess I figured there'd be probably a couple of 3-year-olds in here and then the rest of us would be 4. I didn't expect the 5-year-old to step in. Yeah, Frankie is definitely our biggest competition by a mile. Buddha is not bad, coming over from Canada. Minky and Corolla coming from America. Gobelini may be a bit laid back, but is a grade 1 domestic 2. And then, of course, the 2 ungraded. You could never kind of know when it is. Buddha, Frankie as the tipped horses. They're both very fit and primed to go. Oh, we do have a pink triangle? Do we? Doesn't look like one, but yeah, Keen is slightly agitated. So beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, just Champions Cup, 1 mile 1 furlong, Class 1, Grade 1, on the dirt track for 3-year-olds and older. Yeah, I think 1 3-year-old, a bunch of, which I think is Corolla, a bunch of 4-year-olds, and a 5-year-old, which is Frankie Hauer. Frankie up the inside. We're taking position just in behind them to get nicely blocked off, as well as being agitated. You gotta love that for us. And yeah, we should watch Frankie just kick on here towards the end and make a real run for this. Boadicea's there. We're there. We're gonna lose 3rd place, I think. Just about. And Frankie doesn't win. The Canadian does hold off and gets the job done. But we never had a chance because we blew up before the race a little, and that sucks. So so disappointed. I'm so disappointed that we can only get 6 Grade 1 wins on a horse I feel pretty good about. I think she could have had so much more. She could have had so much more. And it just never worked out. Absolutely just never worked out. Yeah. Right, that's the only other thing to do at this point is to finish out the season then. What a disappointing end to the year. It feels like we had. Just the 2-year-olds were good. The 2-year-olds weren't great, but the 2-year-olds I will say were good. The 3-year-olds were a mixed bag. Hara definitely peaked at times, but looked good without winning a ton. And Life Quest also had some very sticky spells, but 3-year-old with 12 Grade 1 wins is huge. Absolutely huge. We've already got some yearlings in, it looks like. So, Promise Princess. Good little horse here. What can I What can I call this one then? Oh, I think this is just going to be a double double, double D, double P, just double double. Um, yeah, Much Demure is going to drop 2 falls in this year. Promise Princess is going to drop a pair as well. Um, it's not going to make sense to anyone but me, maybe. But I think I could rename this something. Kind of makes sense to me. If I hit that full potential, it's going to be difficult, but if I hit that full potential and get that 3-year-old jump above 90 with all this extra speed and 55 cruising burst, if we can just get that, this could be really, really good. I guess the mystery trader, not the mysterious trader, but still, that's going to be there. And free Fontenay. Again, a ton of extra speed. We're just never going to hit that as a 2-year-old, which means that's going to be our peak as a 3-year-old, which means that's not really a horse I'm that interested in. So we will get rid of that one. Rainmaker looks pretty good. Noblesse Oblige looks pretty good. Again, if we can hit this, we'll be okay. Doesn't look amazing, but does have adaptability, which I do like. This should be okay. Again, puts us in range for a good 3-year-old season. Same with Double Double and Mysterious Trader as well. We're a little close on some, but I think those are all going to be just about fine. Yeah, just about fine. Final sale, absolutely nothing. Skip through. So Worth Heavens, the top flat horse. We'll see if they end up going into the breeding barn. They might do. They only ran 9 times this year. They won 3 of them. They earned a ton of money. If they're going into the breeding barn, I know exactly what I'm doing this year. I think that's a no-brainer. There we go. Yep. Some good horses. Some good horses. But I think these are the ones I'd be interested in. These are the ones I'd be interested in breeding people with. I think Freelancer was a good horse. A very good horse. Dingen was a good horse. Worth Heavens, of course, is an amazing horse. So Freelancer there. Is just fantastic. Worth Heavens did make it. They don't always make it in the barn. They say they do, and they sometimes get put into the barn, and then January 1st they get retired for some reason. So I'm glad those two made it. And then I believe Dingham Mountain's Australian, which means we're going to have to go to the progeny data to find that one. And I don't know where they might be. And yeah, the best way of doing this actually might be alphabetically, which is annoying. Looks like maybe they didn't make it. And that's always something that can happen with those internationals. But I think it looks like maybe they didn't make it. So it looks like we got 2 to go then and breed from. We could do 1 this year, 1 next year. But I also feel we got some decent options from our Colts anyway. I feel like these 2 have kind of done their job right now. I do feel they've done their job right now. So, yeah, Emirati and Worth Havens, I think, are 2 that I kind of want to look at. I can't believe that they ran so well at the start of the year and then just like fell off completely at the end. I'm a little surprised with that. They looked so good early on, and now they don't look phenomenal. Is it worth breeding from them? Is it worth breeding from them? Maybe. I think we're going to do a little breeding save inside our regular save. We're just going to completely save the game. At this point, no matter what happens, this will be the point that we'll be able to get back to, as long as I don't save in the middle. And then I just feel I can just go for it. Oh, that felt like it wanted to crash. It lagged out a bit there. But yeah, all we're doing is we're going to go through this season one by one, breed everything we've got to Worth Havens. We'll export all the yearlings out to a transfer list, which we've only got 1 horse on right now. So that's fine. And then we've got all Worth Havens, and then this year we'll actually just go ahead and breed from Emirati as our sort of canon breeding. So I'll be back when it's done, actually. We'll take a look at the yearlings at the end of the year. Okay, well, it took 2 goes because the horses were added into the barn and kept moving our place in the list, so I was trying to go too fast. But we have everybody in fall to Worth Havens, so we will figure out now kind of what's next. It took until the 1st of May. Don't mind that. So it's just simulating to the end of the season. I'll see you there, and we'll take a look at these falls and figure out who they are and how good they are. Okay, so a couple of horses made it out early, as usual. The best of which was God Scoop. Just, yeah, not amazing, but some good extra speed, bit of cruising burst. I don't love the potential, but we're gonna let it ride, I guess. I'm putting that in the pool, so that is gonna be there, and then all these yearlings are just fine. We do then have everybody here down. So yeah, Boning Orford Province Princess didn't really breed as well as I'd have wanted to, but that's fine, absolutely fine. What we have got is a full, and I do mean full set of falls from Worth Havens. So I will take that, and I just want to make sure that none of these ended up as a sneaky last minute early fall for Worth Heavens, because that also has happened, but no, not this time. That is good, which gives us these 14 yearlings, and we can start looking at them then, and yeah, I mean, that's fine. That one's absolutely fine, so um, host above, I think, just absolutely fine. Send that one out to the list. It's not great, but it's okay, right? I mean, it's okay. You want you want 60 to 65 ability, and then like 10 to 15% to grow every year. So yeah, we'll just be under 80. And if we get like as a 3-year-old by the end of the when they're maxed out at 3, if they're above 90%, that's kind of what I'm looking at, and this gives us a chance to be there. Not a ton of cruising burst, not a lot of extra speed either, but it's not bad. Um, what? Yeah, names are going to be difficult at this point. So I'm trying to think. Uh, Incantation, because I got reasons for my names. I'm not going to explain them all in full, but like that there'll be something to do with the names of both of the horses that they come from. That is such a big bar. We're never going to hit that in 1 year, which means we're going to cap there at 2. Everything else looks good, but honestly, I don't see much hope for this at all. I don't see much hope. Other people might disagree, but I got very high standards. Um, yeah, exactly the same there. No finish, but good extra speed. I mean, 50% finish if the rest looks good enough, I'm okay with. But in general, I'm only looking for good horses. And this is tight but doable. No cruising burst, really, but some really good extra speed, the full finish. I don't mind this horse. I don't. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think we'll put that on that list. Don't love the look of that one. That's tight with some extra speed. Not much else, but some distance adaptability. Yeah, maybe. 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 Could be okay. Maybe. I'm trying to convince myself some of these no finish. No finish is really tough. Everything else looked fine, but I'm going to be pedantic on exactly what I'm looking for. Um, uh, radio something. Something. Radio something. I know, and I don't want to go for radio, but radio something. Radio Smith. Again, I've got my reasons. They might not make sense to anyone else, but they kind of do to me. What am I trying to do? Wow, yeah. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, gotta finish application at some point. kind of disappointing. Out of all those horses, all those breeders we had, we end up with 6, and of those, I would say 2 or 3 are ones that I probably wouldn't normally keep. So we got 2 or 3 out of Worth Heavens out of 17, which is a 1 in 6, really. It's like a 15 to 18% chance. I don't love that at all. I really don't. So, definitely really wasn't worth breeding from, especially like in a normal game, in the normal way. But thankfully, that was more of just a breeding save version, and we can revert back to where we were. We still have those 6 out in the field. And yeah, we can move forward really in the 1st of January and just be double checking our horses here to make sure they're good enough. That is so close to being a no. That is really tight. I mean, a couple of these aren't really where we want them to be. I mean, even that could be good. You can get that in a 2-year-old season. You get up to 90 in the 3-year-old season, which gives you a shot at least. So it might be that we're getting rid of people with a ton more potential, but like it's not really achievable by the end of their 3-year-old season, whereas this just is. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, that would be tight because that's close to 20%, right? This just inside maybe, let's say 18, 19%. 20 is the max. If we did hit that, then you feel really good about your 3-year-old season. I don't know if we do. This is almost perfect. This is almost perfect. An easy 2-year-old season, get up to here, and then 90 to 95 is a 3-year-old season. Maybe max out as a 4-year-old season. We're on board. This is just also too much. So good horses, but actually will not develop as well as you think they do. And it's very disappointing, again, from all these. Very disappointing from all these. Um, so yeah, names. What am I thinking of here? Soul Speaker, I think. It kind of makes weird sense in my brain. Um, Riot Control. Um, Easy Red. Uh, uh, Surfer Dude and ooh, what could this be? This one's more difficult. This is more difficult. It doesn't make sense, but it's the only thing in my brain right now. Linguini Cartel. That'll just do. There we go. We got those set up, so that's at the start of the season. Now we can save. So we've got our yearlings coming through. We've got to go through our breeders. We've also got the 6 from Worth Heavens. Didn't work out as I thought he would as a 2-year-old, but we've at least got some bred from him. And then, yeah, at the start of the year, the main thing for me to do is pull all the 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds back out into the racing stable. And I guess the 4-year-olds too, right? Because I think High Life still got. Sorry, not High Life. Life Quest has got a little bit about them. That could work out. So now we reorganize the lines. Don't think it really matters too much, but Pure Adventure. Out Cold. Ice Queen. And then all these 2-year-olds. Get them in order. And I'll put our racing stable exactly where we want it to be. So you got 4-year-old male, 4-year-old female, 3-year-old male, 3-year-old females, 2-year-old males, 2-year-old females. Everybody's kind of separated up. I can choose them a lot easier for races. Again, I'm going to double save because even if I go to a backup, then it's going to reset to this point. So I feel good about a double save every now and again. That gives me 11 horses in the breeding barn to breed off a freelancer Emirati, which is a tough one to judge, but probably I would say either an adaptable mile 2 or a mile 3 horse. I think an adaptable mile 2 makes sense to me, I gotta say. And it comes from such good breeding that I feel really good about that horse. So let's go through them. Bounding off, and I mean, we are now getting to that 20% gap that I don't like, but it does have good extra speed and good potential. This might be the last year for them. Promise Princess is absolutely fine. Ram Scoop, absolutely fine. We're pretty much only looking at the potential here because all the rest of the stats have been good enough for them to make the breeding barn. So it's just how much this potential bar is regressing. Much Demure is fine. High Life. High Life, I think I'm done with. 8 years of age. Give us a life quest, which has been great. Has given a Soul Speaker now, who made the cut. We could breed even more from them, but this is just going to, like, anytime a breeder has a potential bar that is a bunch of unfulfilled potential, that's what passes on to the foals, and that's why you get horses with unfulfilled potential. Now, unless that unfulfilled potential is all the way up to 100, at some point you're always going to hit that kind of mark. If your actual potential is really low, you're gaining at most 20 per year. Most horses will gain probably about 12 to 15 on average. If you really push them to their limits, you can get above 15. But 15 is kind of your safe bet of being able to hit that potential in about 90% of horses, no matter what happens. So if this was a 2-year-old, you know, what are we on? Like 72, which means 85, 87. Maybe you hit 90 as a at the end of your 3-year-old season, maybe. So it's like it depends how much of a jump. Can you get the 20% jump or not? I wouldn't bank on it. High Life's just in the point now where I feel she would be very, very slowly putting out some bad falls for us. So I think I'm done. Or something like Ram Scoop's perfect because there's only a short distance here. So unless the sire has a big unrealized potential bar, you're not going to see that take effect there. Much demure. Absolutely fine. Blaze has just gone in. She is maxed out right now. And Hay Grenades again, yeah. We're over that 20%. And even worse, we're below the 60 mark. So Hay Grenade, another 8-year-old that's not going to make it. Swan Dive. Her bar is fine. Brex is fine. Pastel is fine. Grace of Cree has never really been fine, to be fair. And doesn't make the cut. And it's another 8-year-old. And that does mean that, like, the fact that Haig Brex is still around at age 8, fairly impressive to me. Fairly impressive to me. So, yeah, I think we got 8 breeders for this year. Looks like 6 of them are particularly fertile, and so should breed very quickly at the first time of asking. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. And because there's only 8, and I know it's basically a week per breeding if they do it first time, I'm looking at 2 months. I've got to get it done by December, which means right now I could probably start in September, even bringing in a couple of extra horses into the barn, and still get everyone fully bred. If I breed in the first month and a half, oh well, the first month really, I'm probably going to get horses falling early and ending up as yearlings, even though they didn't breed last year, they bred this year. So I'm actually going to delay breeding until March the 1st, just to give myself a clear buffer, and still be done by August fully breeding anyway. I think that makes sense to me. I do think that makes sense to me. And if we get a 50% hit rate out of this year's breeding, 5 yearlings with 4 to come for the next year, I think kind of fits. And it makes sense if we got 6 here to go down to 5 and then down to 4 as we're slowly kind of pruning the dead wood out of the breeding barn. I think that's fine. But Life Quest as well at the end of this season, we'll go into it. Pure Adventure, Out Cold, Ice Queen, if they don't race particularly well, they might go into it. We might not want to see them as 4-year-olds. So, and we might also buy some. That's always the case. Yeah, I feel pretty good. So this is where we're going to start, in this case, our season. So double looks okay. I'm going to say if we do fill out this potential this year, I'm pretty excited about next season. Because I think as a 3-year-old, we could run quite well. That breeding indicator, I would expect us to jump up to like possibly a mile 1 or mile 2 distance. And if we do with 85% extra speed, and potentially as a 3-year-old, by the time the Kentucky Derby comes round, 90 plus realized potential, I do think that we would have a shot at the Derby and maybe Preakness with double. So I'm very kind of happy and excited. The other thing is, it does look like we've got good jumping speed potential, so who knows? This might be also one to run the Triple Crowns and whatnot. Have a good 4-year-old season, maybe. And then throw over to the jump save and see kind of what happens there. That might be an idea. That might be an idea for us. But double, I feel pretty bullish on. I think it's going to be a good horse. Rainmaker as well, quite decent. Possibly going to be more of a mile to mile one than anything more. It's just how I feel. And it's just another tidal force horse. You know, they all kind of, I feel, are kind of similar. Little bit of adaptability to it, which is nice. Good extra speed. Again, we hit this. We move over 90-95% as a 3-year-old. There's a chance of doing something there. The jumping speed potential isn't bad. No jumping ability potential on any of these horses, of course. That's usually the case on a flat save. Damager and Orphan give us Tomato. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be a rough season to try and get where we want to go with Sturdy Tomato. I don't know. I gotta be honest, I just don't know with this one. I also think I didn't rename this one because I was thinking about getting rid of it. Uh, Manalurka. I think that's just something. Yeah, I don't know if this one makes it. I think that's pretty much just asking for you to go and have the perfect 2-year-old season to fill that much potential, because otherwise you'll be possibly like 78 out of 82. And then this bar will not increase for your 3-year-old, and you'll just fill up that extra that you have as a 3-year-old, and suddenly you don't have anywhere near the quality for a Triple Crown quality race. As 3-year-old, you might jump and kind of have a good 4-year-old season, but 3-year-old season's kind of dead in the water if you don't fill that bar out. So much prefer a Rainmaker kind of situation than Mana Lurker. It's yeah, it's not even close. Mysterious Trader again. I mean, at least it's a little closer, but very tight. Very tight. Got Noblesse Oblige. Very tight. I mean, the one thing with this horse as well is just a couple of lower bars around. And that gives me Shy Prince, which isn't quite as tight, but is fairly tight. A little more doable, even though it looks like a worse horse in general. Might be the only one to have the actual potential as a 3-year-old. So, yeah, these two fillies look okay. Shy Prince looks okay. I wouldn't say too much about the other 3 colts. They've got big 2-year-old seasons that will define what they do, if anything. To be honest with you, at 3 and 4. Ice Queen, what are we looking at? Yeah, we've got a potential to jump up here to 90. You can see we only gained like 8 potential to grow this year. It's not amazing, is it? But we did the work as a 2-year-old to get where we want as a 3-year-old. She can run. She might not be amazing, but she can run. She's okay. And we saw that at 2-year-old, actually. She was okay. She wasn't amazing. We did pick up the grade 3 and almost 100 rating on Out Cold. And yeah, again, it's even less. It's like 6 we grew potentially here, but we can get that and be over 90%. We're at the 70% extra speed. I don't think it's a world beater, and we saw that as a 2-year-old. It doesn't look or feel like a world beater, but it might be okay. Another 3-year-old. We almost won the grade 2 of the Sorrento. We won the grade 1. We won the grade 3. And this year we've got a chance to go up to the 95 mark. Even with only 75 extra speed, there is some distance adaptability. We're currently looking like a miler. We might always be a miler. We could move up to a mile 1 or so. There's definitely some runs I could see Pure Adventure having. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. And the Institute Spy, again, another miler probably. Couple of grade one opportunities I felt good about that we didn't get. Just didn't like Australia. And didn't really like graded races because fully unsettled. Hopefully that's gone though as a 3-year-old, or I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to be really upset. And yeah, again, we're potentially a 95 ability horse with a lot of extra speed. I mean, 83 or so, maybe extra speed. That might be our best 3-year-old by far. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing that I think most of them are going to sit at a mile. Ice Queen, the worst of the four, is the one that's going to come up to a mile 1, mile 2 in all probability. It does make a Triple Crown very difficult when that third leg at minimum is going to be a mile 4. So who can make that? Who can maybe just bridge the gap? I don't know. And I think only one horse has any distance adaptability. So it could be Pure Adventure that realistic has the best chance at winning a grade 1 early with adaptability. Everybody's just going to sit at a mile, 7 furlongs, and have to wait for some races that make more sense. And probably everyone can collect a leg or two of Triple Crown races. But again, Pure Adventure, probably the one with the most realistic shot at winning a Triple Crown. Institute Spy, if we can get the Kentucky Derby, if we can, and I'm not sure we can, but if somehow we can, we'll come down for the Preakness, which fits. And then we can go and just run the Belmont and hope. That seems to be likely for me. Life Quest, again, we continue at a mile. I don't think we try and bridge up to a mile 1. It's a good horse, but it's about as good as it was as a 3-year-old. It's got some very low bars throughout, and we were very hit and miss at times last year. So, great 2-year-old season. A slightly infuriatingly close 3-year-old season. And our 4-year-old season, we can see probably a bunch of other wins. At least 15 grade 1 wins, I would expect. We only need 3 more. I'm sure we can get that this season. 20's probably beyond us, but we can aim for it. And hurrah, we're probably looking for 10, really. We'll possibly like to sit still at a mile 1, possibly a mile 2. That does put us right in the path for the World Cup races, which we can grow a little bit up to 90%. We can kind of get there. I'm not overly confident. It's a little bit like last season. I think we got some good 4-year-olds, but not great 4-year-olds. Our 3-year-olds seem to be not quite at the right distances. Our 2-year-olds and our yearlings don't seem too bad. We'll see how they progress through. But I do think we're kind of in a little bit of a lull after some like major success. We're in a little bit of a lull. We're going to have to see how it goes. And I do think out of everybody, the breeding that makes the most sense is going to be Freelancer Emirati. And if nothing else, that's going to introduce a little bit more distance into our bloodline again, because I do feel he's probably been sitting somewhere around the mile 3. And that's why he can get up to the mile 4s that he's done well in. He can still get down to the odd mile 1 here and there and still do something there. And he's really kind of been hit and miss at a mile 2. But yeah, did win the Pegasus. Did win the Pegasus. and Webo, who's been fantastic. I'd love to see what they look like as a breeder, but again, it's another year outside the barn. I'd probably expect them in next season, so we might be just going from one to the other. And they did geld Coors River, or I would be interested in them too, because they kept popping up and yeah. So I think that's the current plan then. Everything is fully set up then. We've got our order set. I'll start booking races and seeing what comes up. But I think we're in a good place. And that's where we're going to leave it. At the end of one season, the start of the other, this is kind of the work I do in between recordings usually. But because we only had a few races left in that season, I thought we'd do a little end of season, beginning of season wrap up and set up kind of video as well. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have, please do smash that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know who your favourite horse is. What do you think of Hurrah? Got the World Cup triple header coming up now. What are your predictions kind of for that? These 3-year-olds, do you agree or disagree? Because like distance feels like our biggest obstacle. If it wasn't for distance, then I would back Institute Spy a lot. And so how much is that distance adaptability for Pure Adventure going to come into play, even though they're not the best horse that we've got? Are they going to have the best Triple Crown period, maybe? Like, are they going to have the best 3-year-old season because of that? I don't know. Um, so yeah, feedback on all that would be great. And in the meantime, check out the other playlist, Football Manager going crazy, a jump save where a couple of these might end up after they actually have their runs. I don't know yet, but maybe. Yeah, that's definitely one for the future. You know, let's just be honest. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again, and it possibly will not be the horses I expect to do it with, because converting a flat horse into a jumps horse isn't really something that's worked out that well for me. Um, yeah, kind of an interesting one. So we'll see how that goes. But the other playlists are up on the channel, as I mentioned, as on the memberships. And until next time, thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate all the support. I'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, all the very best to you. And yeah, hurrah for the World Cups. Life quest at a mile, and the 3-year-olds picking up whatever we can. Maybe not having anyone really suitable for the Kentucky Derby this year again. And we get another surprise. We'll find out, and I'll see you then for it.